everyone. Today we are going to get into the values of best ball. It's the off season and it's the most fun thing to do, guys. We love drafting best ball, especially as we're going through free agency and legal tampering. It's going to be a blast. Let's see where player values lie and get you ready for this off season. What's up, everybody? I am Nate Polvogt. I am joined by my co-host, Mike Vadala, here on the Monday Mock Draft Show, and special guest, our rookie guru. He is a prospect whisperer, if you will, Mr. Cam White. Gentlemen, it's a great day for a best ball draft. We've already had a ton of free agency news drop. It has been fast and furious. We've got Alec Pierce staying in Indy. We've got Michael Pittman moving to Pittsburgh. We've got Ken Walker going to the Chiefs, which just makes my heart hurt so much as a Broncos fan. But we'll see how it all goes. I do think Ken Walker's overrated, but this stuff is going to move the best ball landscape as we're going through this draft. And we're going to have news dropping while we're here. Cam, Malik Willis to the Dolphins. This is something that you talked about, and we've kind of talked about would probably be a good move for Miami. How does that tip the needle for you as we head into this best ball draft?
I think he was already going pretty high in the best ball drafts that I was doing back in January and February. So I imagine we're probably going to see someone reach on him now that he has a for sure landing spot and a chance to go in, claim the starting job over with this staff that came over to Miami from the Packers, which just feels like the Dolphins are trying to replicate exactly what they were doing there. So I imagine Malik Willis is probably going to go in that like QB 15 to 20 range, which is where he has been going. Depending on who we have at that point, I might be open to taking him. I was just talking to Mike before we got on the show, and I said, Malik Willis, maybe he doesn't make it all 17 games just because he could get an injury. That Dolphins O-line is bad, but I do like the weapons they have there, and he's got wheels. So any quarterback with legs that can run, he's going to be one of the guys I'm interested in.
Well, I think most importantly, when we're looking at this Miami team, they are loaded at running back. They can run the ball, and adding that mobile quarterback is just going to add a new dimension to this offense. Now, it's not the Mike McDaniel offense. We've got a different head coach. We're going to have a different system. So we'll see how that plays out. Mike, Ken Walker to the Chiefs. Does this move the needle for you at all on Ken Walker? Because, honestly, outside of the Super Bowl, we haven't seen a ton of efficient production from him. Do you think that changes in Kansas City?
I think that they recognized a need. I think this is some good self-scouting by Kansas City, and they saw a player who can do a lot. Obviously, we saw in the Super Bowl. I tend to think that the Seahawks were ultra conservative with injuries in terms of preserving Kenneth Walker, and that totally worked out. But this might be one of your opportunities to see one of those Andy Reid running backs like we saw with McCoy and Westbrook. I think that Kenneth Walker has a similar elusiveness and explosiveness to those players. We've gotten excited about Andy Reid running backs before, and this is the first time we've seen in the Mahomes era really them spending up for a player of this caliber at that position. So I'm excited about Kenneth Walker. I definitely think it's an upgrade. I think there's going to be some people that were hurt last year by Ken Walker and hurt in other years in the past, but I think this is a different team. I don't think Brashard Smith or Kareem Hunt are as good as Zach Charbonnet. And this Kenneth Walker is going to touch the ball this year.
Don't you defile my Brashard Smith like that. Come on. But here's the thing is that you're definitely not wrong. And we also heard Kansas City today, Travis Kelce, he's coming back for one more season at least. We'd assume one more season. This will be his 14th season in the NFL. This Kansas City team thinks they can win now. How do you feel about that, Cam?
I love it. I think Taylor Swift has breathed a little bit of life into Travis Kelce. I like buying these veterans even as they age. If they were an elite prospect at one point, I want to continue buying until they retire because the price just gets so cheap. Going into before this news broke, we probably could have gotten Travis Kelce for like a late third, early fourth. There's a chance he puts up another top 12 season this year. When he was healthy last year, before Mahomes went down, he had some great games. I think he had at least one 100-yard game. So I like it. I like it for Kansas City. I like what they're building over there. Probably going to see them take a wide receiver in this draft. Would be buying into Rashee Rice as well. Don't think he's going to get a massive suspension here. Probably 2 to 6 games is what we're going to look at. And you're going to want him in the home stretch for your fantasy leagues, for your best ball leagues. You're going to want him in Dynasty, because when he's out there on the field, he's a locked and loaded, probably like top 24 wide receiver easily, and then definitely sneaks into the top 12 in some weeks.
Well, and this is a situation where I do think Kansas City thinks they can make another run. They can hold off until Mahomes is ready. If he's not ready week 1, they've got enough talent. Probably lean on Ken Walker early in the season, guys. And as we're going through all of this legal tampering, make sure you are following us on Blue Sky at news.optimusfantasy.com, the fastest news account on Blue Sky. We were almost an hour ahead of most outlets on the Alec Pierce news, which was fantastic. Did drop kind of early in the morning, but that's what we're doing here. And then make sure to check out optimusfantasy.com. There's a link in the show description for our NFL transaction tracker. Make sure you are paying attention to that article. Every move that is even remotely relevant will be in that article. We're keeping it updated in real time. So make sure you check that out, folks. All right, guys, well, we're doing a best ball draft today. We're breaking away a little bit from our previous format of doing mock drafts, but given the landscape, this is the time of year people are getting into best ball, and these drafts are like mock drafts that mean something at this point, guys, right? That's kind of how we look at these, where we're learning the landscape, we're learning what's going on, we're learning what people who have some skin in the game are actually drafting. These can be very helpful. So the first thing we're going to do here, folks, we're going on to the big board. Let's take a look at the rules real quick. This is a tournament, so you have to get past week 14 if you qualify. So that's going to be our goal. We want to win the money here, right, guys? That's what we're here for. It's a 20-second clock, 20 rounds, 12 teams. It is a half PPR, as all underdog drafts are. If we can somehow finish in 55,800th place, we'll get our money back. We're shooting for higher than that, though. So let's go ahead and check out this draft here. Let's see how close we are to being ready to go. We're still looking to fill this one here, so we'll hang on for a minute. Guys, with everything going on in free agency, what are some moves we haven't heard yet, Cam, that you're looking to see? Players you're looking to land in a specific place. They're going to help you kind of figure out what teams are doing in the draft.
Yeah, it's so tough to actually decide where I expect some of these guys to end up landing. I think there's some teams that need wide receiver. Would love to see some of these teams fill out their depth a little bit more. But I don't necessarily have like some of these landing spots. I was very interested in Kenneth Walker. Was very interested in Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce. Those were kind of the guys that I was paying most attention to. So I was interested in what happens with the Seahawks, our Super Bowl champions. Are they going to run it back and have Charbonnet and Walker as a 1-2 punch again? Looks like it's going to be Charbonnet. Maybe they find somebody in the draft there. Otherwise, we're looking at George Holani and Zach Charbonnet to start the year if Charbonnet is healthy. And then over on the Colts, really loved Alec Pierce. Was hoping he was going to find a different landing spot where he could be that number 1 wide receiver, but I guess we kind of found it in a roundabout way with Michael Pittman leaving town, which opens up the opportunity for Josh Downs to show up. I know he's somebody that Mike really likes. We've got some Josh Downs fans in this room. Maybe we get him in the draft today. Let's see where he goes now that he's kind of stepping into this like number 2 target potential. Probably splitting the 3 of them, honestly, between Warren, Pierce, and Downs. They're all probably going to be vying for that number 1 position. I don't think they really have like a target hog at number 1. So going to be very interested to see what happens with Downs over at the Colts now as well.
Well, especially with Pittman moving to Pittsburgh, that opens up even more for Downs. What I'm going to be interested to see is if he can work that middle of the field. If they can get him to work the middle of the field, because he's been more of a downfield threat. Alec Pierce sticking around really makes me wonder if he's going to be viable outside of kind of the Xavier Worthy role that we see in Kansas City. I think he could be, but they're going to need him to work more of the middle of the field. It's not an immediate bump for me. Plus, guys, we don't know who's playing quarterback at Indy. Mike, do you think this is a team? I mean, obviously they tagged Daniel Jones. They're looking at $35 million for a quarterback who probably won't be ready to start the season. They got rid of Anthony Richardson, or are going to be getting rid of Anthony Richardson. How do you think this plays out in Indy quarterback-wise?
Well, it looks like they're going to – honestly, I don't know what they're going to do to start the season, because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be ready right at the get-go here.
Right.
Unless – I don't know. if he is, then we're looking at, it makes me think of Kirk Cousins coming off the Achilles playing for Atlanta and just not looking good. So we'll hope that he can be healthy, and if he does start the season, that he can still be what he was last year, maybe with a little less rushing. But yeah, I would think they're going to have to grab like a kind of an interim player for the first few weeks, or get somebody in the draft, or roll out Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers even. So yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. That's going to be really interesting to see. What I'm definitely interested to see is what the Steelers do at quarterback, whether it looks like they seem to be angling towards bringing back Aaron Rodgers. I think that would be actually a good thing for them for right now. I don't see a lot of other players that are going to come in and provide like a huge difference from what Rodgers has already done. He's got the history with Mike McCarthy. Adding Pittman gives you a really nice compatibility with DK Metcalf. And so I think that could actually be a nice change for Pittsburgh to kind of get a little more modern offense going and just kind of change the culture about what that team is about.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's a good move for Pittsburgh. All right, guys, the draft is filled. We are picking 3. We've got some badges in here with us. We've got all badges in here with us. So this is going to be quite the draft. These are, if you're not familiar and you're new to Underdog, if you see a badge, these are guys who are playing a lot of tournaments. They are well-versed in best ball. No names that I'm really recognizing here, but that's fine. So the draft should be kicking off here any second. We've got 10 seconds until it kicks off. So first 2 picks, we're assuming here, given this format, we're going to see Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs come off the board. Are we sold on Puka at 3?
I don't know if I'm sold. I think it's a wash between Puka and Chase, probably. I would be fine going Chase. What do you feel, Cam?
I would go Chase. I just feel like Puka's style and his injury history, you're just going to lose some of the weeks with him, where I don't feel the same way about Chase.
So the first 2 off the board, as we predicted, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson coming off the board. We are going to go ahead and lock down Jamar Chase. You know, I think it's interesting with Puka because we know the talent's there, but we also know his injury history. We've got Matthew Stafford, who's got a bad back. What is this offense going to be? We know how good they were last season. Is that going to carry out to the 2026 campaign? Are they going to draft a wide receiver maybe to pair with Puka? Because Devontae Adams, as he's getting older, I look at him as more of like a red zone guy. You're not going to see a lot of midfield targets for him. We have Puka come off the board here at 104, then Ashton Genty off the board at 105. We've got our boy Joel Worth here. He is at the turn. That would be J Dubs 1035. We love Joel here on the show. Also, this quick comment here, he's saying he'd like to see Tyler Algier to Seattle. I wouldn't hate that, quite honestly. I think he'd be a good complement player in that system, and I would not hate it. Cam, how would you feel about that?
Oh, I would love to see Algier. I mean, we saw him for that one season be the lead back in Atlanta, and I think he put up 1,000 yards.
Yes.
So would love to have Algier. I think he fits what they want to do over at the Seahawks. They want to run the ball down your throat and then beat you with JSN and Sam Darnold. So
just
would
like
definitely
that.
be buying into Algier. And
Got
right
some
now, where he's
news.
going in the best ball drafts, he's going pretty late. He's going in this round where you're like, it's all ambiguous backfields or guys that are free agents and aren't on teams. So I would really love to get a share of him if we get some news on his landing spot.
Oh, we just did.
We just did.
Really?
He is going to Arizona. He is
Wow.
an Arizona Cardinal, folks.
Wow.
Cool. We got to break some news, Mike, just like you wanted here.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
we're a couple picks away. We are just 7 picks away. We've got JSN Amon-Ra. We've got CeeDee Lamb coming off the board at 109. We've got Amon-Ra at 17, JSN at 19, I'm sorry. Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Devon Achane, Ken Walker coming off the board at 202. So some people are excited about that landing spot. We just had Malik Neighbors come off the board at 205. Real surprise here, Jordan Love at 24 in this draft. Jeremiah Love, my bad.
That would be weird, though.
That would be very weird. And I'm going to need them to do like a JE. Love moving forward.
Go.
Just to make it clear here, Omarion Hampton and Trey McBride now off of the board. Malik Neighbors at 205. We're just a couple picks away here. Let's look at the board here. Do we want to stick with wide receiver, guys? Given that this is half PPR, do we want to hammer wide receiver for the first couple of rounds? What are your thoughts, Mike?
I'm really okay here with Nico Collins, AJ Brown, and Josh Allen here. I'm fine, and even Olave too. I like all of these guys.
Sure.
I think we should go with Nico. I think he's going to have a bounce back year, and last year he had some injuries. Stroud had some injuries. I'm liking Nico to have a nice little bounce back here.
Cool. And Cam, you good with that one?
Let's do it. Love Nico Collins.
We got
Drake London. I'm okay with that too.
Yep.
I'm okay with that too.
Mm-hmm.
So then Nico Collins comes off the board next. Would have been our pick here. He goes at 211. We've got Bandito Sanchez on the board here, running out of time. As we're coming around here, because our next pick is coming up in the next pick here, what do we want to do here? Do you want to go back to quarterback, guys?
I like Allen for sure, or we could go with I like AJ Brown too, because I feel like he's got a chance to land somewhere where he gets just a lot of targets.
Let's take a stab. Let's take a stab here at AJ Brown.
Yeah, let's do it. 1 second.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Yep. Beautiful.
Now that's how you do it, Nate.
That's how you do it. So far, we have got Jamar Chase, Drake London, AJ Brown. So we are heavy wide receiver in these first 3 rounds.
Beautiful.
I'm a fan of it. I love the wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
We can cool off for a little bit now, probably.
Yep. Well, we've got more running backs coming off the board. We've got Bucky Irving and Josh Jacobs at 3.5 and 3.6. Josh Allen is now off the board at 3.7. Let's take a look at some of these running backs here that are on the board, guys. We've got Breece Hall, Kyron Williams, Travis Etienne Jr., Javonte Williams, and Trevion Henderson are the guys we're going to be looking at here. Cam, who do you think out of these guys has the highest upside that we should be chasing?
Yeah, of those guys, I really like Javonte Williams. He's on a great offense. I like what they're doing over in Dallas. He really doesn't have any competition right now. They just paid him, so we know that he's going to see a workload that was going to suffice, probably get him, RB1 numbers at times this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an ascension into the RB1 territory. After that, I like Etienne a lot. We're still waiting on his landing spot, I believe, unless there's been some news that's broke. But I think those would be the 2 running backs I'm most interested from these guys on this list right now. I really like Quinshon Judkins. He's one of my guys. Let's see if we can wait a little bit for him to fall.
Yep, I'm with you here. If Javonte Williams falls to us, that's where I want to go. Mike, if we lose out on Javonte Williams, who are you looking at? Trevion Henderson, we've got Scatabo, who is in the mix. He should be back and healthy this season in a Harbaugh offense, which is likely going to be very good for his fantasy value. How are you feeling about that?
I might prefer to wait on running back here if we've got Lamar available or a premium tight end. I'm not sure. I think we just saw Loveland go off, so I don't know if we've got a really top tier tight end or not. It looks like no. So
yep, he did come off the
I
board.
think that just Lamar's output has a really nice chance to way outperform what Williams or Henderson can do this year. And I just like locking down those elite players. So if he's available, I would probably rank him Lamar, Williams, Henderson here.
Okay. We got Garrett Wilson coming off the board at 408. Cam, how do you feel about that? Are you good with Lamar Jackson?
Love Lamar. I think he's way too low at this point. He should be going in the same range with Josh Allen.
We saw him and Jalen Hurts both go late in our 1 QB draft, Mike, which was interesting. It does seem that his value has fallen, and he fell to us here we're at 410. So we've got Lamar Jackson locked in. We're good at quarterback here for at least now. Javonte Williams coming off the board at 4.9, Garrett Wilson at 4.8, Jalen Waddle at 4.7. Jalen Waddle coming off the board that early is interesting. Do we think that's because of Malik Willis?
I think it's more Tyreek Hill being gone, being the number 1 target there. He'll probably see 120 to 140 targets this season.
Yep, I could see that as well. All right, guys, we've got another pick coming up here. Back to running back. Do we want to hammer on Trevion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins if they fall to us?
I prefer Henderson just with the Judkins injury. I just feel a lot safer with Henderson there.
Cam, how do you feel about that?
I'm happy to go Henderson. I like him a little bit less than Judkins, but I think that really it's a dart throw between these guys because we're going to be playing an injury, and let's take the guy that's healthy right now with the limited information we have on the injury.
All right, we did it. Trevion Henderson is going to be our pick at the 5-3. Judkins coming off at 5-4. We had Jameson Williams off the board at 5-2. Romo Dunze off the board at 5-1. We had Amika Egbuka off at 4-12. And Devontae Adams falling at 4-11. A little bit early, in my opinion, for Devontae Adams. I feel like he's going to be so red zone dependent. I wouldn't have taken him there. How do you feel about that, Cam?
Little early for me. There's been a lot of mocks coming out recently for the NFL draft where Rams are taking one of the top wide receivers. So you put him at third in the pecking order, maybe. I mean, probably starts the season second best wide receiver, and maybe by the end of the season he's third. Seeing like 5 to 6 targets a game rather than like the 9 targets a game that you really want at this point in the draft.
Yep. Mike, we just had Christian Watson come off the board 5-6. He came off the board after Carnell Tate. Where are we sitting with him right now with Christian Watson? Do we think he's now going to be the lead receiver in this offense? Because I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't think the Packers have any plans on having a lead receiver. I think they like almost outright come out and say it last offseason. So yeah, and now I like him for best ball. I think it's just too early. I mean, you also see DJ Moore, who's going to be the Bills. Like the Bills are going to prioritize DJ Moore in a way the Packers are not going to prioritize Christian Watson. So I do like him for best ball, but hopefully we can see him fall a little further so that we can just take advantage of those spike weeks, but not be hurt on our week in, week out basis.
I'm completely with you. Marvin Harrison here at the 601. Cam, do we think he bounces back this year without Kyler Murray?
I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, we're talking about a guy that in his rookie year had 800 receiving yards, cleared the benchmarks that we needed him to clear. And people are just upset because he didn't live up to this generational hype that he had. But he's a really great wide receiver. And I think he's still the number one wide receiver in that room. Maybe he's like competing with Trey McBride for the most targets there. But I really like MHJ to bounce back this year.
Look, Michael Wilson, wide receiver 40. There are 5 receivers ahead of him right now in the rankings that have not come off the board. We had Mike Evans come off the board at 6'2". We don't know where he's going to be playing. Is that a solid risk to take at 6'2"?
I mean, I've also seen reports today that he is, quote, serious about potentially leaving Tampa Bay. I don't know if I'm taking that risk. I think like I'm a little risk averse on injuries and older players, and Mike Evans might kind of be both, to be honest, right now. So I'm right now, the way this draft is shaping up, I'm really glad we went wide receiver early. I forget our third wide receiver we took. Can you just scroll it down for me? So
we've got Jamar Chase,
we
Drake London,
AJ
Brown.
Cool. So we don't know where he is yet.
We're coming up here. The 6'10". We're about 10 seconds away from our pick. Which position do we want to go, gentlemen?
Can you show us everybody that's available?
Let's go, everybody.
There we go. Boom, boom, beautiful. I kind of like Warren here with Alec Pierce or with Michael Pittman gone. I mean, why not, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think they're going to spam Warren with whoever that starting quarterback is at the start of the season too. So that could work out for us.
All right, guys, we got some quick breaking news here. I hate to interrupt, but Travis Etienne has signed with the New Orleans Saints. We do not have compensation news yet, but Travis Etienne is a New Orleans Saint. Where does that put him, Cam, on your board here? Do you think he's someone that maybe went a little bit too early now in this draft, or do you like where he landed?
Oh, I love that landing spot. The Saints have a fantastic head coach. That offense really hums under his supervision. I think we can put our Kendre Miller shares to bed now if we're talking about Dynasty. Right. It hasn't shown it.
I don't mind grabbing Pitts here as well to pair with London for the Atlanta stack.
I love it. Let's do it.
And now we're done with tight end until
done with tight end. We can
20th round.
Yeah, like dart and throw
JMG in round 20.
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for John Michael Gyllenhaal. Gyllenborg. I called him Jake Gyllenhaal at the Senior Bowl, and I felt like a real dick. But when you have a name like Gyllenborg and you're that pretty, what am I supposed to call you?
I mean, right? Exactly. I think all the Gyllens of the world really probably get along. You know,
no, they probably do.
They seem like good guys.
All right, guys, we've got DK Metcalf off the board at 7.5, Cortland Sutton off the board at 7.4. I think that's a pretty good value for Cortland Sutton, specifically in this offense. We're going to have another full season of Bo Nix. I feel like this offense is getting better. Cam, how do you feel about this?
I love it. I think we're looking at mostly wide receiver twos that are left on the board right now. So to go get Denver's wide receiver one, that's just a great play. He's a guy that just continues to fall in
Yep.
ADP and be underdrafted every year. So he's one of the guys I target if I don't have my wide receiver room filled out yet.
Yep.
We got
All
some
right,
more news coming through. You see it, Nate?
Wan'dale
Go
Robinson
for it. Let's
going to the Titans. Wan'dale Robinson to the Titans. I don't know who this elevates in New York, really. I mean, maybe Isaiah Likely, since he signed there. News broke that he was signing there earlier. Outside of that, Cam, what do you see this doing for the New York Jets offense? Or for the Titans offense?
For the Titans offense, they get a wide receiver that can get open in the short and intermediate stuff. They can scheme looks up for him. He's great working pass guys on deep plays. Not really like a physical build that's going to outmuscle anybody. But Cam Ward needs weapons. They don't really have a lot of weapons there. Really, Alec Maynor, I like him. I just feel like they just need to put bodies out there for him to throw to. Because if anybody gets injured in that wide receiver core right now, you're not looking at much. I think, is Kyle Phillips still there? I don't even know who the next wide receiver would be because Ridley's gone. They're just really thin. So I think they just need to add depth. We're probably seeing them add a wide receiver in the draft as well.
I think we will definitely see either a day 2, early or late pick. Obviously not day 1, but all right, guys, we've got Kyle Monange, Michael Pittman, Jacoby Myers now off the board. We are approaching our pick here in about 20 seconds. Let's look at this board here. We've got Tyler Algier, Quentin Johnston, Tony Pollard, Blake Corum, Rico Dowdle, Xavier Worthy, Jadarian Price, and Wan'dale Robinson all sitting in our queue here. Which direction should we go? We got 20 seconds, gentlemen. Mike, start with you.
I like Algier here. They made the move to go get him pretty early on in free agency, so I think that's a good move, and we need running back.
Yep. You want to do it? All right. We got Tyler Algier coming off the board after Blake Corum and Jordan Addison. Rico Dowdle goes almost immediately after to Hollywood Andy. Tony Pollard off the board, then Sam Laporta. We're coming up here in one pick. Which direction do we want to go, Cam?
I really like getting Jadarian Price here. I think he's going to land somewhere where he's got an opportunity to break out. He looked fantastic at the combine. Probably the second best at all of the running back drills that they ran. Not talking about 40 times or 3-cone drills or anything like that. Just actually the drills that they ran.
Okay, Mike, you good with that one?
Very good with it. If Cam likes a rookie, I'm all sold on it. So
you and me both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You and me both. Okay, we got Stafford off the board at 9-4. We've got Purdy off the board at 9-5. I feel like we're going to see a quarterback run here in a minute. Wan'dale Robinson going at the 9-6. I do like that move. I think that's great value for a 9th round pick here, especially one who just signed with an offense that has no receivers. Maybe we see Gunnar Helm and Chikakonkwo get a little bump in this offense. It would suit a guy like Cam Ward. Now we've got Jalen Coker off the board at 9-7. I think a lot of people are excited about this Carolina offense heading into the season. We saw them get better in the second half. We saw Bryce Young make some strides. Cam, do you believe any hype behind this Carolina offense this offseason?
I do. Yeah, I believe the hype. I think Canales is building something there. I think Bryce Young looked fantastic to end the year. They're giving him weapons. Leggett was kind of a dud, so then they went out and got Tet. And I think they're building something great there. Really interested in investing in this offense, especially at its price point. I would expect that they probably go out and get another tight end in this draft. I don't think Jatavian Sanders is that guy. I'm probably fading him. Of all of the weapons they have, I'm fading him the most. And I'm really buying into Chuba. I think everybody's reasonably priced and would have no problem buying into them in best ball and dynasty. I think they're great assets to have on your dynasty teams, and I'd be trading for them if you can get them at the discount they're currently at.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Mike. Are you with him on that?
I am thinking about our next pick right now. So I'm seeing this QB run. We're having a lot of QBs come off the board. So I'm kind of thinking about who we want to stack that we've already drafted. And then I'd like to see like what QBs are still available. Just so we don't get caught with our pants down here.
I know
as much as YouTube might like that.
Yeah, well, maybe. So we're coming up here in 3 picks. Looking at the quarterbacks, we've got Tyler Shuck, Sam Darnold, Malik Willis, C.J. Stroud, Fernando Mendoza. Speaking of Bryce Young, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is someone I'm not taking a chance on unless he falls to like the last round. We'd really need that value. We've got 20 seconds here. Cam, which direction do you want to go with this pick?
I think Mike was feeling QB. Mike, are you feeling QB?
Let's wait until our next one. Let's grab
Okay.
somebody else.
Let's,
So
let's
I
have a running back here.
Okay, let's
Okay.
go. Do you want to go with the rookie? We got 1
Oh,
second. We're
too
getting
late.
autoed.
All
There
good.
we go.
We're getting autoed.
That'll
We
happen.
got autoed.
People.
It's all
That'll
right.
happen.
Dalton
did we get?
Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid.
Kincaid. All right, so
Not
let's
my
try to be
favorite
mindful of
one.
having a little cue going as well here.
Yeah. All right. So we're coming up in 2 picks. We're coming up in 1 pick. You wanted to go running back. Who are you feeling here? We got JCM, Trey Benson, Tyrone Tracy, J.K. Dobbins, Woody Marks. This one's on you, Mike.
Or we can reach on Mike Washington Jr., who I know Cam is a fan of.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah, I don't mind
Say
doing
less.
that. Just filling
Say
up.
less.
Yeah, filling up those running back slots,
Yeah,
grabbing somebody.
exactly.
I don't mind reaching in these drafts, especially once you get to this point in the draft. Go and get the guys you want.
Yep. No, it's yeah. I mean, we're here. What in the 11th round? We filled out our starting lineup, and I completely agree with you.
That is the earliest I've taken Mike Washington so far. I looked through all the drafts that I've done, and I think the earliest I got him was the 14th round. I love it. I love getting Mike Washington there. He's 233 pounds and runs a 4.33. Like,
it's terrifying. Terrifying for defenders. All right. Are we wanting to go back to the quarterback route here? Do we want to get our next quarterback, guys? Mike, it kind of seems that you were kind of leaning there. We've got is
we're not going to have a lot of options pretty soon. You know what might be interesting is getting Mendoza just on this off chance. First of all, he's got a nice rushing floor, most likely. He's going to have to run around out there with no offensive line either way. And then number 2, is there any chance that they grab AJ Brown? Like, is that a landing spot where AJ Brown could end up? They don't really have a wide receiver 1 right now. I mean, I haven't really heard anything that's a possibility, but I just know that Brown is looking for a new home, kind of a thing.
Well, and my gut is that I feel like this Raiders team feels like they're building to win now. Like they're going to get a quarterback that's going to be serviceable. They're going to put together a team with Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty that can maybe compete in the division or at least get a wild card spot. And I like Mendoza. I wasn't really hot on him coming into draft season, but the more I've watched, the more I've listened to him talk, I really think that he has the right attitude for the NFL. And if someone's going to come into a locker room and change a culture, Mendoza could very well be that guy. He seems like a really good locker room culture guy, which is, I mean, if we're being honest, it's what the Raiders need, Cam. They need someone to take control. They didn't have that last season. How do you feel about taking Mendoza here if he's still hanging around on our next pick?
I really like Bryce Young. I know we were talking about him. I like Penix too, getting that stack. I do feel like we can probably wait a little bit on both of those guys if we wanted to.
Sure.
I like Mendoza a lot. I'm just a little worried about who he's throwing the ball to. I don't think they have.
Yeah, let's take a look at the running backs and wide receivers that are still available too.
So we have got Trey Benson, J.K. Dobbins, Rashid Shaheed, Woody Marks, James Conner, Emmett Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, Josh Downs, Travis Hunter, kind of right in the tier here as we come up to draft. We're about 5 picks away. Cam, what are your thoughts on the guys?
To me,
Shaheed stands out to me too.
Can we cue him just in case we get caught with our pants down again?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and cue him. I don't think we're going to, though. We should be good here. We have got 3 picks until we are up. I like Rashid Shaheed.
I really like Downs.
You like Downs.
We kind of double dipping there, but then we could get Daniel Jones at the very end and have that potential at the end of the season when Jones is back.
All right, I'm okay. I'm really good with Downs. Mike, how do you feel about it?
Can we see if Downs comes back around? Could we grab Shaheed now and wait on Downs?
Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Beautiful. Love it. Yeah, and that's another thing, especially when you're at a turn kind of like this. It's really nice to if you have 2 guys you want to see who's more likely to go in the next couple picks here. And I think Shaheed was probably more likely to go, and they might leave us Downs on the way back here.
Yep. So we've got Downs queued here. So if he doesn't come off the board, he will be our pick. Do we want to go back to running back? We've got 4. Do we want a 5th? Do we want an earlier draft capital guy that we can plug in here?
I like Emmett Johnson a lot still, and I think he's like my second highest owned player in best ball drafts. I know people are kind of down on him after the slow 40 time, but I rewatched the tape and he's still like tied as my RB2.
Okay.
But I mean,
I love it. I'm
I like
okay
it
with
too.
it.
I'm a
Okay,
I'm
let's
a
do it.
Johnson
We're going
fan.
Emmett Johnson.
Running backs named Emmett, usually a good thing to go after.
Yeah. Well, we lost out on Josh Downs. So here we're coming up
Ooh.
around in 16 picks. We got Kelsey off the board, then Mendoza at 13.5, Jalen McMillan at 13.6. This draft is flying, guys. Where do we want to pivot now? Do we want to come back around to QB? Let's see what we've got. We've got Bryce Young. He's still available. We've got Penix, Brissett, Rogers, JJ McCarthy. Don't talk to me about Shitter Sanders. I'm not going there. Do we want to try and hammer Bryce Young if he's still available at our next pick? Not that he necessarily will be. Nope, he is off the board now. Our options are thin in here, and I do believe that we should go quarterback next. Do we want to go Penix to hit that stack, Cam?
I love Penix. I love Stefanski.
Yeah.
I think he's got
we have the
years
Pitts
under
and
belt.
London already as well.
There's
I
our
like
stack.
that a lot.
Yep.
And I do feel like I think we'll get Penix here. We're up in 7 picks. I know people are worried about the knees and the injuries. He's had multiple ACL tears. The language coming out of Atlanta has been kind of iffy as to whether they're actually going to let him start. I still believe he wins the starting job back. I think QB 28 is a little bit low for a guy who has a lot of upside, especially when you surround him with talent, which is what I think this new coaching staff is going to do and is already doing. I'm pleased with it. I think that's where we're going to go. We've got Penix in queue. We've got Tyjae Spears, Trey Benson, Sean Tucker, Mark Andrews, and Hunter Henry now off the board here in the last 5 picks. We're coming up here in 2. So we've got Michael Penix locked and loaded. Then we're coming around pretty quickly after that. Which direction do you want to go here, gentlemen? Cam, what are you thinking?
I like grabbing Penix a lot. I just think we've got that stack, and if he wins the job, we already have Lamar. So Lamar's starting the majority of our games in these best ball lineups. And then if we get a big Atlanta week, we're cashing in.
Yep. Okay, so Penix, we've got our second quarterback here. Now we need to just kind of hammer these running backs and wide receivers. Right now, Tyreek Hill, Kayshon Boutte, Jerry Jeudy, Troy Franklin, and Chimere Dike are going to be the top 5 guys available at wide receiver. Over at running back, Braylon Allen, Katron Allen, Dylan Sampson. We've got Brian Robinson, Tank Bigsby, and Keaton Mitchell. I'm inclined here, guys, looking at this board to go wide receiver, and I think I would like to go. I'd probably go with Kayshon Boutte. I think that we saw a lot out of him, and I think it's worth the risk here. With 8 seconds left on our clock, I'm going to go ahead and grab him. Seeing what we saw out of this New England offense, I feel like he could assume that wide receiver 1 role, especially with Stephon Diggs being gone. Not that it's necessarily going to happen. Maybe they go wide receiver at some point in the draft. Maybe we see them make a splash in free agency. But right now, my bets are on Kayshon Boutte being the wide receiver 1. Mike, do you feel one way or the other about that?
I think that's like definitely the play we're making here, and I think it's a very possible outcome for the Patriots. So I like Boutte. I think he has had a lot of flashes this past year. He flashed a few times, and they've been a little hesitant to maybe like say, okay, we're going to prioritize him, but there's a chance that happens, and so yeah, this is a nice bet on that. We also get to stack him with Henderson. And you know, if we get really lucky, then the Patriots are just throwing it to Boutte and then running it in with Travion, and then we're looking real good.
Yep. Okay, we are 9 picks away, but real quick, Jalen Naylor has signed a deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. So we've got a new wide receiver there. I don't know that makes much of a splash for me.
Not quite A.J. Brown.
Not quite A.J. Brown. I don't know if this is a sign that they're necessarily out on A.J. Brown. Jalen Naylor's not a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 3 complement guy. I would be more concerned about any shares of Jack Besh or Trey Tucker that you have seeing this news. That's going to impact these guys. All right, we are 7 picks away, gentlemen. Torrey Horton, Keaton Mitchell, Nick Singleton, Zachariah Branch, Elick Aomanor, Ray Davis, Chris Bizzell, Jacoby Lane. We've got a lot of rookies on the board here. Mike, which direction are you kind of chomping to go this way?
I want to grab, if we can, I want to grab Keaton and Singleton. I would like Singleton first because I like his upside a little more than Keaton Mitchell, and then I like Mitchell just for that Baltimore stack. And also the kind of rule of the road here is with running backs and wide receivers, like we have very high quality wide receivers, so we want to end up with more low quality running backs. We want to be having more running backs on our team because we're hoping that London, Chase, and Brown are just holding down those wide receiver slots. So I like Singleton first.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
I love Singleton. Let's pick Singleton.
Cool.
Do we have Skylar Bell on the board still? He's a wide receiver.
You can type him right in the little search window. You see the magnifying glass to the left of your QB icon. There you go. And you can put Bell right in there.
Yep, Skylar Bell.
Okay.
Skylar Bell is
available. So we could wait another round or two for that.
Yeah.
We can definitely wait another round or two.
Let's keep waiting on him.
Okay.
I think he's going to be a guy we want. And then I also love Zachariah Branch at wide receiver. I know we're just talking about we have so many good ones.
Do we want to go running back here, guys? We want to grab Keaton Mitchell. We got 9 seconds. Should we do it?
Do it. Let's grab Mitchell.
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, so we're in the 17th round. We're getting to the end of this here. We're starting to kind of go after some of these dart throw guys. This is where I like to chase rookies, personally.
Is this an 18 or a 20 round draft?
20 round.
Okay, cool. So we got another 4 picks or so.
I love Ollie Gordon. Really think that there's a chance that they move A-Chain, and Ollie Gordon is a really solid back.
It's a hot take, but I like it, Cam, because the one deep dive I did, remember I showed you this, I did a deep dive on Halfley when he was coaching at Boston College, and this man was giving A.J. Dillon the ball. And I don't know, but I think Ollie Gordon, A.J. Dillon is a pretty good comparison, with Gordon maybe being the better NFL player. So I like that, Cam. I like that a lot.
I'm a big fan of Ollie Gordon as well. Threw him in our queue. That's a dart throw I'm okay making, especially because, again, like I was saying earlier, I think the Malik Willis signing shows us that they're going to want to run the ball a lot more, and you can't just give Devon Achane 300 touches, right? He's not that type of back. He's going to wear down. You need to get guys like Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon involved, but Ollie Gordon's that punisher. He's like that Jamal Williams in Detroit that one year. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get into double-digit touchdowns because you don't want Achane at the goal line. You just simply don't. So we've got him queued up.
Halfley's come out and said that he wants to build this team to win in cold weather in December. They're not building this team to win in Miami in December. So, we're going to see him running the ball.
Yeah, no, I love it. So we've got him queued up. Ryan Flournoy. This is a dart throw I really like here at 18-2 with the Dallas Cowboys. Even though they retained George Pickens, we saw a lot of Flournoy last season. Not that I think he's going to be a breakout guy, but I really do like the pick. We got Jacoby Lane coming off the board at 18-4. This is an interesting one. Pratt Fryermuth. Seems like kind of a dead asset, but he's going to go 18-5, followed by Elic Aomanor, the wide receiver in Tennessee, who we just talked about at 18-6. Now we're seeing the dart throws. Chigakonkwo coming off the board at 18-7. Assuming he goes back to Tennessee, I do like that pick a lot. Jaden Blue at 18-8. He was somebody I thought was going to take over that backfield last season. I don't know that I was alone in that, Cam. Did you have any Jaden Blue hype starting last season?
We drafted, Mike and I co-managed quite a few Dynasty teams together, and we got some shares of Blue just to see what was going to happen. He was electric with the ball in his hands, extremely fast running back, but he didn't seem like he read the holes very well. Couldn't really pull through tacklers, didn't lower his pads the way you want to see. He's more like, speed jitterbug, where if you send him in on a gap play and he hits the gap correctly and blows it, he'll run for an 80-yard touchdown. But wasn't a huge fan of him. We'll see what happens in Dallas this year. If Williams goes down, you're going to want Blue.
Yep. Okay, guys, we've got 2 more picks left. We are coming up on our 19th round here. Which direction are we wanting to go? You wanting to stay with wide receiver, or wanting to go with Bell, or are we wanting to go a different direction here?
I think we need one more wide receiver for this build. I like to have at least 6.
I would love to get Skylar Bell. He had 100 catches at UConn last year, which is
I like it
for a college player to do.
And also Steve Smith loves him. I listened to a couple of Steve Smith podcasts, and he's a big Skylar Bell fan. And I'm also liking this pick because I could definitely see him filling a hole in Atlanta or Baltimore, where our two
Sure.
quarterbacks we've already
Mm-hmm.
drafted are.
Sure.
Baltimore lost Isaiah Likely. Atlanta let go of Darnell Mooney. So there's pass catching roles open on both teams. So I like that.
Yep. Let's look at our picks real quick. We are about 17 picks away from our final one. We've got Lamar Jackson, Michael Penix at quarterback, Trevion Henderson, Tyler Algier, Jadarian Price, Mike Washington, Emmett Johnson, Nicholas Singleton, then Keaton Mitchell and Ollie Gordon at running back. At wide receiver, we have got Jamar Chase, Drake London, A.J. Brown, Rashid Shaheed, Kayshawn Booty, and Skylar Bell. Tight end, we've got Tyler Warren, Kyle Pitts, and Dalton Kincaid. All in all, not a bad roster. What direction do we want to go with this last pick? What dart throw do we want to make, gentlemen?
Can we check out QBs? Just with when I draft like a Penix, I like to have another dart throw in there in case he misses the year, you know, like, or something happens. It doesn't look like there's much here. I might be more comfortable grabbing another wide receiver instead. I mean, I'm okay. Like Sanders, McCarthy, Cousins, Smith, all those people are like decent dart throws. So sometimes I will do that. And then other times I'll grab just another skill position.
I think we go wide receiver here, in my opinion. Cam, how do you feel about that one?
Yep. Who's your favorite guy? Who do you like, Nate?
Looking at this list, I want to believe that Ted Hurst is going to be something, but I think he's being way overhyped. For me, I'd probably say I think there's a chance Kyle Williams could be that solid wide receiver too in New England. We saw some progression from him last season. I'm less likely to believe in Marvin Mims, and I hate to say that, but I don't love it. I think, you know what I want to do? I want to take a stab on Malachi Fields. We loved him in Mobile. I really liked watching him at the Combine in Indy. Mike, Cam, any objection to going Malachi Fields with our last pick?
No, I think he's a good blocker, and he's got the frame that you look for. Not worried about his 40 time. I think he ran like a 4.6. Looked great in the drills at the Combine. He's really fast and snappy at the end of his route when he's got to make a break. And has great hands. We see him make some really difficult catches. And I just hope a team that drafts him doesn't stick him in the outside and make him just like that vertical X. I think he can really do more in an offense than just running deep for you.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about with Herms from FTN CH Herms when we were at the Senior Bowl was speed isn't his game. It never has been, and that's not how he creates separation. He's a different type of receiver, like an A.J. Brown type, where he creates separation with his size. So we're going to go ahead and round out our draft with that pick. We got two more to go here. Shadir Sanders coming off the board at 2006. Apparently Hirsch 33 believes there's a good chance that maybe he could break out. I am less inclined to believe that, but we've heard a lot of coach speak from Todd Monken, right? Where, oh no, he's an electric playmaker, blah, blah, this and that. What they don't talk about is that he's an electric playmaker, kind of. Also makes a lot of mistakes. He doesn't have it wrapped in. So, all right, let's go through our team here real quick, guys. I'm loving this team. We added Malachi Fields. We're heavy on the rookies. We've got 6 rookies on this squad, which I don't hate. Cam, how are you feeling about this roster?
I feel like the rookies is partially my fault just because I've been so deep in rookie analysis. But I love the guys we ended up with. They're all some of my favorite guys to draft. So I really enjoy that. I feel like we're a little light at running back, just like not having very proven assets. But we have great depth with guys that I'm really interested in. And I love the fact that we grabbed Tyler Algier. I think he probably starts at some point this year. James Conner is very injury prone. He's at the end of his career. They just signed him, so we know they're going to give him the ball. I love that pick that we made. And then I really like our tight end trio. I think we'll have a great tight end week every single week of the season. Warren, Pitts, Kincaid. I've never had a tight end room look this good.
Mike, do you agree here with Cam? Are you loving those tight ends? And where else do you think we really succeeded in this draft?
Always loving these tight ends. And I think we did a great job. I think that Lamar Jackson in like the late 4th, is that where we got him? Like, I think that was a great value grabbing Lamar there. And hopefully we just don't have to worry about QB all year. I think that's the one thing that can go wrong for us is just like if we see an injury at quarterback, we're kind of screwed here. But that's kind of what you do with these drafts is you do a bunch of them. And that way, your Lamar Jackson, Michael Penix get hurt in this draft. Well, hopefully you had Drake May and, Jaden Daniels in your other draft. I like having all of these unknowns on our team, actually. I think that's where you find a lot of the value in these early best ball drafts. So having all these rookies where we don't know where they are yet, having free agents that just signed or haven't signed yet I think that's a lot of fun stuff that we've got going on with this draft. So in about a week from now, we're going to have a whole different picture of what this team looks like.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, we will. Well, gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here on Mock Draft Monday. Thanks everyone who joined us for this draft. Cam, thanks for joining us for your very first live stream. It's been a blast having you. Mike, until next week, this was a great draft. We will be back next Monday. Do not forget, 1:30 p.m. Eastern here on Optimus Fantasy. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, check out optimusfantasy.com. Don't forget that we do have that NFL transaction tracker up, and make sure you're following news.optimusfantasy.com on Blue Sky. Carly is dropping all the news as it happens. That's where we got the breaking news here on this stream. And if you're watching us after and you've got questions about this draft, you've got questions about any draft, make sure you check us out on our Discord server. 365, 24/7. We're talking football over there. So we would love to have you join us. For Mike Vadala and Cam White, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.